Hi, first grade. This is Miss.Bhagwandeen, and I did not get to read to you guys today a read aloud, so I'm going to record myself and maybe send it in the morning to you. After the first day of e-learning, I think we did a really good job of trying to get everything else situated and located. So I have over here Mr. Rabs, if you can see him, the rabbit. Mr. Rabs and I are going to read you a book. The book that we are going to read today is Listening to Your Heart. Okay. It talks a little bit about self-compassion, having compassion for yourself, and listening to your heart. When you get angry, when you get upset or frustrated, listen to your heart. What does your heart tell you? And being a friend to you. Sometimes we're really good at pointing out what a good friend does, but what does it mean to be a good friend to you? Treat yourself with positive self-talk. Okay? So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you my book. Okay, so the title of the book is called Listening with Your Heart, a story of kindness and self-compassion. That means having compassion for yourself, being a friend to you. By Gabby Garcia, illustrated by Ying Yu Tan. Esperanza, tummy, fluttered as she practiced her lines on the porch. Today was the class play. Waiting for Mama to walk with her to school, she paced back and forth when she spotted a heart-shaped rock. Esperanza picked it up and showed it to Mama as soon as she stepped outside. I see you found a little treasure, said Mama. Esperanza rubbed its rough surface and felt a twinkle of joy. Maybe it's a sign. For what? Asked Mama. She thought about the class play later that afternoon, wondering if it would finally be like what it would finally be like in the spotlight. To put her heart into everything, put my heart into everything I do, she answered. At that moment, they heard scratching and a soft cry. Esperanza peeked under the stairs and spotted a kitty shaking and shivering. No Mama inside. She scooped up the kitten onto her lap and cuddled her. She's all alone. I think she's hungry. Esperanza reached for her lunch bag, pinched off a piece of chicken, and offered it to the kitty, who gobbled it up. Mama, I think the rock is a reminder to spread kindness and love. That's what we do when we listen to our hearts. I think we're on to something, said Mama. Can we keep Cleopatra, please? Asked Esperanza, who's already named the kitty. Queens are always welcome in our house, said Mama. If she's still here after school, we'll take her in. At school, Esperanza was more focused on the play than on math or reading. Clutching her script during recess, she noticed Bayo sitting alone on a bench. Bayo right here. He was new in school this week and didn't speak much English. She wondered if he felt lonely or scared. Esperanza found his soccer ball and kicked it over to him. A smile spread across Bayo's face. He stood, popped the ball in the air, then bounced it between his knee and his head a few times. Dude's got moves, thought Esperanza. They spent recess giggling and making up hand signals. Afterwards, Esperanza borrowed Mrs. Owen's English-Vietnamese dictionary. She wrote friend in Vietnamese, drew a picture of Bayo and her, then put it on his desk. Esperanza rubbed the rock in her pocket. Listening to her heart made her feel peaceful inside. So I'm guessing Bayo is a Vietnamese boy, and he speaks Vietnamese. Finally, it was time for the performance. It was too late for Bayo to be in the play, but he stood at Mrs. Owen's side as a stagehand. There he is. There's Esperanza. Excitement bubbled as Esperanza waited her cue. But then Esperanza walked on stage, tripped as she was about to say her first line, and splattered across the stage. Oh no. When she got up, she forgot her lines, so Miss Owens whispered them to her from backstage. Heat rushed through Esperanza's body as all eyes were glued to her. She wished she could just disappear. I know that feeling. I've felt like that before. It's an embarrassed feeling. I ruined the play, thought Esperanza, rushing off stage as soon as she'd finished her part. I'm such a dummy for forgetting my lines. I messed up in front of everyone. She tucked herself in behind some props so no one could see her. So that's not positive self-talk. She's calling herself names. She's calling herself a dummy. Esperanza noticed her body shaking and her face was burning. Like burning meaning like she was hot. She took a deep breath, dug the rock out of her pocket. It was cracked and lopsided, just how she felt. Esperanza touched her hand to her heart and felt disappointed. Bayo found Esperanza a few minutes later and handed her a drawing with the word friend written on it. Now, friend was written in English. That's Esperanza. Esperanza nodded. She hadn't been treating herself like a friend. Esperanza realized this wasn't the first time that she's been unkind to herself. At the soccer game last weekend, she'd missed the ball that swooshed by her head, and they lost the game. Nice work, a player from the other team yelled as the others laughed. Esperanza thought that she let her team down and was the worst soccer player in the world. Thinking those thoughts made her feel worse. That's not positive self-talk. At the curtain call, so curtain calls at the end of the show, when everybody or all the characters come on, Esperanza reminded herself she hadn't ruined the play. She had an accident, and accidents happen to everyone. Listening to her heart wasn't just about giving kindness and love to others. It was about giving it to herself too. I can be a friend to myself, thought Esperanza. So she's finally listening to herself and her heart and self-talk. When Esperanza got home, she focused on her favorite things. She zipped down the hill on her bike, then spent the afternoon painting at the kitchen table. She also got the hug she needed from Mama and some cuddles from Cleopatra. And that's the end of the story. And it's just this listening to your heart and being my own friend. Okay? So it says, some days stink. Not everything will go the way you want. You'll get upset. When this happens, you can pause, take a few deep breaths, and practice listening to your heart. So we've talked about deep breaths and practicing some different breathing techniques at school. So it says, name what you're feeling. Whatever you feel is okay. Listen to your body. Notice the sensations you're having. What's happening to yourself? Are you shaking? Are you getting mad? Are you getting your thermometer, your zone of emotion? Is it going up? Pay attention to your self-talk. Are the words supporting and understanding, or is it mean and rude? Are you being a friend to yourself? So if you're saying, oh man, I should have got this. How come I didn't know that? Well, that's not positive self-talk. You could say, Gosh, I guess I missed it. Maybe I can get it the next time. I can do better the next time. When we treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we give to someone we care for, we are practicing self compassion. Um, and that's the end of this story. This story is also in Spanish. So I'm going to stop my screen share right now and I'm going to come back to me. Just a little fun little read aloud to remind you to listen to your heart and take time for yourself. I know it's a little busy right now, and we're trying to figure out what to do online and how to learn online. But remember to listen to your heart, do the right thing, and be the best you. Okay? Love you guys. Bye.